we're looking at this perfect storm of technology innovation. So the rate of change is only going to escalate. As that rate of change escalates, the CIO is going to have to, make this fundamental shift from what's been a blue collar, IT organization to much more of a white collar around design, architecture, services orchestration, program management. Because to keep up with this change, the business is going to be part of a much broader ecosystem of partners. The CIO is going to rely on a much broader ecosystem of partners that need to be managed to keep up with this agility. We're going to see the process change that we talked about, in this world of the velocity of releases, the velocity of customer feedback. We're clearly going to have to move to an agile development methodology. So I think those dynamics all, no matter what we're talking about, any one of these individual megatrends all boils down to that. We're going to have to change the skill set, the processes, the mindset of IT, and kind of the business partner ecosystem that IT relies on and the business relies on. I mean, you look at the data that we collect, 30% of the IT folks admit that the business is bringing in new vendors that aren't the traditional approved vendors because they want access to the best skill sets around these new technologies like analytics, like mobile, like smart products. I think the technology IQ of the C-suite has gone up dramatically over the last 10 or 15 years, certainly since the internet, in the mid-90s. And I think it continued to rise as we bring in a new generation of younger leaders who move up to those, either the C-suite or certainly just below their direct reports. You're seeing that technology IQ rise up. The CMO, chief sales and marketing, are all being driven with that. But you're seeing it even in the sales environment, right? You look at industries like pharma, where the sales organizations have driven the fundamental re-architecting of how they interface with their doctors around tablet technology is another example. The marketing organization is looking at how do we track and the social listening platforms. What's the customer sentiment out in the marketplace? That's another big area of technology investment. But I think more and more, the whole CTO and the product development organization, as these products become smarter, they need to think about things dramatically differently. More and more companies, the software is the brand. When I'm using the software, the mobile application, the analytics behind it, that's how I'm experiencing the company. I think one of the big dynamics where you see the changing technology mindset is also on the product development side, right? These CTO organizations are having to build these smart products, which are a very different architecture, a very different set of technologies. User experience plays a much more important role. That's a very different dynamic than what we were talking about 5 years ago. In fact, we were talking with one of the large automotive companies, had to completely redesign how they did testing as they started to roll out more software in the forms of infotainment and navigation, because the traditional CTO organization was used to embedded systems where it was only an individual component that we had to do testing, and they suddenly realized when things fell apart, oh my God, we got to do systems level testing. Now they're having to go to automated testing. They're still running it out of a spreadsheet. So there's a lot of learnings that have to take place as part of this whole smart product environment, both from an architectural point of view, but as we just talked about, from a process and skill set point of view, that really does require that alignment of the IT and the CTO organization to really provide the complete skill set that you're going to need to be successful. And I think, what they need to do at a couple of different levels is I think they need to surface to the rest of the senior management team, listen, there's a fundamental shift going on here. We need to rethink about how we think about our products, our services, the culture of the organization. But I also think they got to then take that back to their own organization and start to make some of those cultural shifts. We talked about it, and start to begin the migration to Agile. Start inventorying what type of skills do we have in the organization? How many real good program managers do we have? Architects, how many people have mobile, iOS, or Android skills? What are we doing around analytics? And what are we doing to kind of create a skunk works where we basically take those perfect storm technology skill sets and spin them out into a separate kind of innovation R&D group, potentially at arm's length from IT, so the corporate antibodies don't attack the new innovation culturally, are one of the things that I think the CIOs need to do quickly. And I think they need to be honest with themselves about how much change is coming and how much of their organization probably isn't going to be able to make the shift.